Ipswich Town are back at home. Charlton, tonight's opponents. Ahead of full match commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk, let's join Mick Mills and Brenna Woolley at Portman Road.
After Friday's disappointment at Middlesbrough, let's see if Town can keep the home fires burning by securing their fourth successive win at Portman Road. There's no doubting they've been a very different animal here compared to what we've seen on their travels. With West Brom to come on Saturday lunchtime, it's nice to think they could be 6 points better off after the weekend, although that's far from a given. One step at a time, though. This is going to be interesting to see this test tonight against a Charlton side that's made a fairly decent start to life back in the Championship after coming up via the League One playoffs following 5 seasons in the third tier. Nathan Jones' men have won 4 and drawn 3 of their first 10 matches, and an awkward opponent is how Kieran McKenna has described them. Mick, I suppose we're not too sure what to expect from Charlton. We haven't seen them for a little while, but we need to see more from Town, don't we, tonight?
Oh, without question. I think that we've been very, very slow coming together. There have been sort of reasons for it, if you like, because of the ridiculous transfer system that we have, where the deadline comes almost a month after the season starts, so that's a crazy thing to start with, but it's something that is in place, and everybody wants to make sure they do the right thing, so they all leave it as late as possible. So Kieran has got this massive job to try to get players to know each other thoroughly, to be able to sort of play with each other, in a way that they've played together for many, many years. Well, that's a difficult job because of the transfer system, but also, and this is really maybe down to Kieran's choice of policy, he hasn't got to just get together maybe, say in Bobby Robson's day, maybe 15, 16 players. He's got, Bobby had to sort of get 15 or 16 players to get to know each other really well. Kieran opts for this 25-man squad, and he wants everybody to have a certain amount of experience of going into the team, starting in the team, and that makes his job even more difficult. And if he's trying to sort of rush things, well, he can't rush things. It's going to take a long time for that group of players to get to know each other and play like we saw the team that came up. The team that came up from the First Division into the Championship, into the Premier League, that was what you called a team. A really good group of players that knew exactly what they needed to do together. For us to get anywhere near that will take considerable amount of time, but this is an important week. We've got to get minimum 4 points from these 2 games, hopefully 6.
Yeah, big week. Good atmosphere here as well at Portman Road for the first midweek game of the season under the Portman Road lights. Well, 7 changes from the team that started at the Riverside on Friday. One of them forced upon Kieran McKenna, as old Matusiwa serves a 1-match ban. He's available for West Brom at the weekend, having picked up his 5th yellow against Middlesbrough. So, alongside him dropping out of the team are also Kipre, Furlong, Hurst, Eggerly, Smodix and Philogene, the others all on the bench. In come Young and Greaves into the back line. Nunez makes his full home debut in midfield. Then that attacking quartet, there's all change up top. McAteer, Akpom, Clark and Athon. So Palmer, undoubtedly Town's man of the match, is the goalkeeper, man of the match on Friday, that is. And in front of him, the back 4 of Young, O'Shea, the captain, Greaves and Davis. And it's Nunez alongside Kayuste, the 3 of McAteer, Akpom and Clark stretched across the pitch, and Athon leads the line. On the bench, Walton, Taylor, Kipre, Hurst, Smodix, Philogene, Eggerly, Furlong and Johnson is added to the squad in the absence of Matusiwa. A couple of changes made to the Charlton side that beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-1 at the weekend. Burke and Campbell dropped to the bench. In come Ramsey and Olaf. Likely to play the same system. It's kind of a 5-3-2 preferred by Nathan Jones, their manager. Kaminski is certainly their goalkeeper, and all green off to our right. His back 5, Ramsey, Bree, Jones, Gillespie and Bell. 3 midfielders, Carey, Coventry and Doherty as they were at the weekend. And then Kelman plays alongside Olaf up top. On the bench, Mannion, Burke, Rankin Costello, Berry, Nibbs, Hernandez, Apter, Campbell and Leeburn. It's a fairly settled Charlton Charlton starting 11 and bench at the moment as they find their feet back at championship level after 5 years in League One. 8 out of the last 9 seasons they've spent in the third tier at Charlton. Of course, for a long time they played in the championship or higher. They went up with Ipswich Town in 2000 and spent 7 consecutive seasons in the top flight there, but they haven't been back in the intervening 18 years. It's going to be Ipswich Town kicking off under the lights at Portman Road. Chuba Akpom over the white ball in the centre of the park. Town in blue, white, blue, playing from left to right against the red, white, red of Charlton. Town winning 6-0 here the last time the two sides met on this ground. A Connor Chaplin hat-trick. And earlier on that season, a crazy 4-4 draw at the Valley when Town led 4-2 in injury time. Only to pick up a point at the death. Ball out far side for an early throw to Ipswich outside the Charlton penalty area. The referee is Farai Halam. Did the 5-0 win here over Sheffield United earlier on this season. The man in black, his 4th official, Ruben Ricardo, never been involved in a Town game before. Inside 30 seconds of this championship match, Town have an attacking throw, and it's Jens Kajuste from underneath the Charlton fans, hurls it a long way into the area, headed away by the big man Jones at the back for Charlton. Nice control by Kajuste on the far side with his luminous boots on. Chance for him to knock it into the Charlton area. Deep beyond the far post, recycled into the middle by O'Shea. Not fully cleared away just yet. Athon tries to win it. He might down the right hand side. The Spaniard's done well. Ashley Young waited. He was challenged. Didn't have time to do that. Charlton get it away. Trying to counter-attack early doors, but it's out on halfway for a throw to Ipswich.
Yeah, it's a nice lively start. That was watching the long throw from Jens Kajuste. He got really good distance on it. It was dead sort of centre. It was pretty much penalty spot area, so he could chuck a ball.
Young towards McAteer. Athon gives it back to the Irish international. Town's trying to start at a pace on the front foot, attacking the goal off to our right. Athon gets the ball back to McAteer, but it comes off a Charlton player. McAteer allows it to go out behind for an early corner kick to Ipswich Town.
What a good start. This is the type of start I longed for against Norwich. You know, we've all of a sudden, we were in the penalty area twice. There's hardly sort of not even 2 minutes gone. We've got a corner kick. We've had a long throw into the box. Why didn't we start like that against Norwich?
It's been a bright start for Ipswich Town. 2 minutes played at Portman Road. They're on the front foot, trying to get this first goal of this game. Davis into the near post, nowhere near good enough. Headed out square by the man patrolling that near post area, James Bree. I think might be playing right wing back. It's maybe Ramsey that's playing on the right hand side of the back three. It does look like Charlton are playing the system that we expected them to play, just Ramsey and Bree the other way around. This man, certainly the Ipswich Town right back. It's Young, throws it to McAteer. Young back to McAteer. Nice play down the right. McAteer's won another corner kick, this time off Bell. Good pressure this from Town.
Yeah, this will be interesting. The last one was really wasted. You know, you must never ever hit that first man, you know, with the ball. You've got to beat the first man to make anything happen at all.
Nunez, who's looked good from set pieces on this corner kick for Ipswich Town by the tunnel off to our right. 0-0. In it comes. Players go down inside the area. The ball goes right through it to the far side. Davis tucks it back to Young. Young first time left-footed, puts it into the Charlton area. Headed square by Athon towards the penalty spot, and McAteer who'd picked up a good position. Athon battling for the ball now and almost winning it, but not quite. It's cleared away high into the sky by Ramsey. The ball drops fortunately for Charlton on the far side. It's Olaf, number 22. Skipping away from the challenge of Kajuste. Kajuste wins it back, but it's Bree who comes away with the ball. Out it goes far side. Good terrier-like work in midfield by Ipswich. It's a through to the London side, far side of the pitch.
Well, they'll be pleased to get rid of that. Couple of minutes, Charlton. You never really want to be doing that. That's why it's so important for the home team to start in that way, because that's not what the opposition want.
Town unbeaten here so far this season. There's wins in recent times against Sheffield United, Portsmouth, and of course the highlight, Norwich. Davis up to halfway. Athon robbed by Jones, challenged from behind. The referee didn't like that tackle by the visiting captain and has blown up. Athon's heavily involved in these first 4 minutes. He's up on his feet and jogging forward. Nunez, his second start for Ipswich Town. Gets the ball back from Young, just shy of the halfway line. The Chilean gives it to Kiyuste. Lovely spin from Kiyuste. Real quality from him in midfield. Driving forward now with the ball. Loses it. Challenge from behind. The referee again, just no more than 10 yards away. Got a good view of that.
He's very good at that sort of twisting and turning in midfield. He just seems to sort of invite players in to him, and he likes to be able to touch people. He knows exactly where they are. He spins them and off he goes. Very, very clever.
Undoubtedly a player with so much talent, Jens Kiyuste. Here's another one you could say that about. Marcelino Nunez on this free kick. Very central, probably halfway between the edge of the Charlton area and the halfway line. In the end, it's the more experienced Ashley Young who's on set-piece duties. We're still goalless on BBC Radio Suffolk, exactly 5 minutes gone, but it's been a lively start from Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. Young puts the ball into the Charlton area, headed down, not fully cleared. Now it's flicked away by the man on the edge of the box. It's Doherty out far side for a throw to Charlton Athletic.
Well, we haven't achieved anything from this sort of pressure, but what you've got to do now is keep the pressure on Charlton, because they will be thinking, my goodness, this is some start by the opponents. You know, it's one long throw, couple of corners, free kick in a decent area. That's a lot of things to deal with defensively.
Akpom scoops the ball up for McAteer, who's on international duty with Ireland during the break. He holds it up under pressure from Bell, former Blackburn player. Now it's with Nunez, the number 32, up to Akpom, playing with gloves on. Didn't really get a sniff of the action really when he came on against his former club on Friday night, Akpom. Here is Dara O'Shea, who got Town's consolation goal in the northeast. Town spreading it up through the centre circle along the deck from the left boot of Greaves. It finds Davis into a pocket of space in Kiyuste, trying to roll his man. The referee plays a good advantage. Athon outside the area has a go, hits the Charlton player's backside. Now it's with Doherty. Doherty loses the ball to Akpom, well played by the Town striker, just outside the area. Goes square to Nunez, sets himself, shoots, comes off a player. Might be a chance for Athon, saved by the goalkeeper. And that was an opportunity for Ipswich Town. He couldn't have done much more on the stretch, the Spaniard. The keeper smothered it.
We were really unlucky that ball didn't sort of bounce in our favour. I mean, we deserved it too. I mean, they were really at 6s and 7s. They've given the ball away badly outside of the penalty area. We've managed to get it, work it into the box, and they're lucky that ball didn't fall for us.
Could have easily done. It's quite unfortunate. Athon, who started this game well, like what I've seen of him, 7 on the clock. As the goalkeeper, Kaminski, the experienced Belgian, one of 5 former Luton players in this matchday squad. Nathan Jones has worked with a fair number of these players in the past, including James Bree, who's had a very impressive start to his spell with Charlton. A couple of goals and 3 assists as well. The Town loan spell 6 years ago now, James Bree, whilst at Aston Villa, on loan from Southampton at the Valley. And here is Dara O'Shea, the Ipswich captain, getting the ball into the centre circle, gives it short to Nunez. Nunez out to the right, and Young just has to step back to control it. Here's Nunez once again. O'Shea into midfield and Kiyuste to the right, Young. It's been a good start this from Ipswich Town. Now Nunez blocked off in midfield by Connor Coventry, who's a decent player. Former West Ham youngster. Now back with Palmer. Saved Ipswich Town's bacon on a number of occasions in that first half in particular on Friday. Akpom dropping off, getting on the ball a bit more in this game, which is good to see. An opportunity for him tonight, in for Smodics in the number 10 role. Greaves to the far side, and Clark. First time we've seen Jack Clark really in this match. Playing in place of Caden Philogene down the left. Over the top from O'Shea, Town trying to mix it up. O'Shea spotted the run of Clark, but it was chested down by Jones. One back by Athon on the far side. Crowd appreciate his work ethic there. Goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk, every kick of every Ipswich Town game. So we'll be back here Saturday lunchtime for a visit of West Brom. Young to McAteer. A bit too heavy a touch from McAteer. Doherty stepped in there, went hip to hip and fouled McAteer.
Yeah, I'm not speaking very much at the moment, Bren. I'm just trying to work out this defensive formation out of Charlton. It's either clever or it's going to cause a lot of problems to them, but they've got. I'll explain it in a minute, but it's difficult.
Davis for Ipswich Town on the far side, heels on the touchline is Clark. Clark now has the ball, comes in field, gives it square to Nunez, 35 yards from goal, has a go. It's the Charlton player who's gone down, poleaxed in the D. The referee will have to halt proceedings because he's really taken one for the team there, one of the visiting midfielders. Doherty, the captain, it was.
Yeah, the 5 players that we thought were just going to play as a 5 at the back. You've got Ramsey, who's definitely, say, marking Clark on our left-hand side, their right, and then Jones is trying to mark Akpom, Azon, and then you've got Bell on this side, the Charlton left-hand side. He's dealing with McAteer, and Gillespie and Bree, who are sort of playing, they drop alongside the centre-half, but they're quite happy to come right into the midfield to pick up a loose Town player. So, you know, the Bree and Gillespie are in and out all the time, but there is sort of like a 3-man, 2 on the touchline and 1 in the centre. And that is, for me, that leaves too many gaps, and we can exploit those gaps by good running from midfield.
At the moment, Charlton man light. Doherty's off on the far side of the field, but he's going to be okay to continue in 20 seconds or so. For the moment, McAteer has the ball underneath us, infield to his fellow countryman O'Shea, who goes square to Greaves. Those two reunite at the back. Town have made 7 changes tonight. If you're just joining us, 11 goalless minutes into our commentary on BBC Radio Suffolk. Fine night for football. It's a heavy shower earlier on, but it's good at the moment. O'Shea over the top, ball into the box. Kaminsky will get there ahead of McAteer. The ball was kind of in between both McAteer and Clark from O'Shea, and that gave the goalkeeper the advantage.
Well, this has been good for Town because all the play territorially, it's all at the south stand end, you know, and the very little play down at the north stand. That's how we want it, but we believe Charlton do that whoever they're playing against. They seem to sort of sit deep, soak up pressure and play on the counter.
Too heavy a touch from Athon, but given immediately back to Ipswich by Charlton. Nunez finds Akpom on the right-hand side. McAteer. Town go hunting the first goal of the game. McAteer inside the area has a go, gets underneath. It was worth a go in the end.
Yeah, I think the run of Ashley Young was terrific. Really good full-back run down the outside. McAteer could have played him. I think he should have played him, but there was space to go infield, and that's always an option. It went on the overlap when you can go infield. But just as he started to think, I can hit this, I can hit a shot, it started to close up. You know, there were 3 sort of red-shirted players that sort of formed a bit of a barrier, and I thought that it wasn't really on to do it.
Town have scored 10 goals against Charlton in their last 2 meetings, 14 in the last 3. Some exciting games between these two sides when they've met in recent times. Jones, that spell at Liverpool earlier on in his career, goes back to Kaminsky, who almost had an error in him there. Jones belts the ball long now for Charlton over the top of Kelman, the smaller of the 2 strikers. Kelman, the former Southend, QPR and latterly Orient player, couldn't keep it in on the far side. 27 goals in fact for Orient last season. Charlie Kelman yet to open his Charlton account. He played against Charlton actually in the League One playoff final at the end of last season. That's how Nathan Jones got his side promoted after finishing 4th in the table. Came up with Birmingham and Wrexham. Here is Jones. Gets the ball but goes back to the halfway line, and Coventry behind him. Coventry once again play for West Ham in the Premier League a couple of times. Here is Connor Coventry from the Hammers famed academy. Now it's with Gillespie. We've seen him play for Plymouth against Town in League One and in the Championship in the past. The ball's now back with Alex Palmer with 13.5 gone. Palmer drills a diagonal to this right-hand side. Nice touch from Young, but Charlton win it through Gillespie. Now it's Olaf, wide left, outside the Ipswich Town area. Between Nunez and Young, Ipswich Town get the ball back and should clear it forward. Nunez plays it off Olaf for a throw, Graham.
Millwall 1, Stoke 0, and Hull ahead at home to Leicester.
Millwall continue to do well. It looks like they're going to be without Massimo Luongo for the rest of the season. That looks like a bad injury for him, which is a real shame. We obviously wish him all the best in his recovery. It's a real blow for him and for Alex Neil. Kayuste in the centre of the field for Ipswich Town. Goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk. There's a player down off the ball. Nothing given by the referee. Clark now runs at the Charlton back line. There's a step over. Clark inside the box. It comes off a Charlton man, and that's corner kick number 3.
Yeah, and it's the same sort of thing. We seem to be capable of pushing Charlton back very, very deep quite easily. It's only taking 2 or 3 passes to do it, you know. But I think it's not just that we're passing the ball well, but I think Charlton are quite happy to drop off and defend deep, and I think we'll see them do that, you know, quite a lot tonight.
Ipswich Town the better side, on top at the moment, but so far they haven't got a goal to show for their efforts. Fingers crossed that's about to happen as Clark sizes up this corner kick off to our right, and it swings, potentially dangerous, headed away off the line in the end by Gillespie. Town can recycle out on that far side, the left. Clark now runs to the byline, gets into the box, and it comes to the middle towards Akpom. Smothered out behind off of his marker for corner kick number 4 inside 15 minutes.
Well, first of all, it was a superb corner from Jack Clark. It had pace, it had bend on it. It was ending up, you know, the finish of it is in the real danger zone. That's right underneath the crossbar, and they did well to clear that one, and then Jack Clark does brilliantly on a dribble.
Another corner kick for Ipswich Town. Clark on it, swinging it in right-footed, headed up by Gillespie inside the box off to our right. Nunez challenges it for it. Charlton player ends up on the deck. The referee's blown his whistle. No quibbles over that free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, I like those 2 corners from Jack Clark. You know, that's what I think you've got to do if you're the corner taker. Just the ball's got to be into the danger zone, and you just got to, it's down to all the other players. They can make whatever type of runs they like. It can be any sort of permutation. They've got to hunt for the ball. If the ball's good, they've got a chance.
Kelman challenges O'Shea. Kelman will be happy enough to have won a throw-in inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. The ball has spent way more time in the half off to our right that Charlton are defending in this first half so far, as Kieran McKenna takes a seat and studies something on a screen down below us. For the moment, Coventry has the ball on halfway for Charlton. That's wayward, terrible, and he's better than that, Connor Coventry. Just gifts Ipswich Town possession from a goal kick.
Yeah, it looked awful, but I know exactly what happened there. There was a run. A run was threatened to go over the back of Leif Davis. Coventry sort of saw it. His head goes down to make sure he strikes the ball correctly, and then the man that made the run decides, no, I'm not going. So poor old Coventry looked a bit of a monkey.
Good touch from Akpom. Then Town got a bit of good fortune. Athon on the centre spot to his left-hand side, gives it to Davis. Davis looks up, plays the ball into the box for Athon. That was excellent. Gliding across in front of him was Jones, such a linchpin of that excellent defensive record last season for Charlton. Club record 23 clean sheets. Jones played in most of those games. Here is O'Shea giving possession to Young underneath us. Back to the captain. Said a couple of weeks ago before the international break to Graham that he was eyeing his first goal for the club, and stuck to his word by glancing that. It was a fine header on Friday night, which sadly didn't count for anything in the end, but good for him to get off the mark. There is Palmer, like O'Shea, getting ready to face his former club West Brom at the weekend. On halfway, Jack Clark to the centre, Akpom. The ball went through him, not what he intended. Young into the middle immediately to McAteer, was offside. Didn't control it as well as he would have wanted to anyway, but it was an excellent pass from Young to fire that in first time to McAteer. The idea was excellent from the former England international.
Yeah, and there are definitely spaces when they try to, the back 5 get split. 2 players come out to do some marking, and these 3 that stay as defenders are stretched right across the pitch, and there's huge gaps for midfield players to run into.
Gillespie goes long, but O'Shea is knocked to the ground by Olaf.
Just prior to that last run of McAteer's, I watched Leif Davis make a run from left back, trying to breach one of those gaps, and he was really unlucky not to be successful at it. So he spotted it, other McAteer has spotted it. We just need people to exploit it and make it happen, you know, and then I think we can have a good 1v1 against the goalkeeper.
19 minutes gone, 0-0. Town have made 7 changes ahead of kick-off against Charlton tonight. Mick Mills alongside me on BBC Radio Suffolk, as he will be on Saturday when West Brom are here, then the following weekend when Town go to QPR, looking for that first away win of the season. Young on this near side, little Cruyff turn away from Olaf. O'Shea gives it to Kayuste. Kayuste loses the ball under pressure. Doherty, though, is going to do likewise as Jack Clark nips in. Clark's done well, coming over halfway, running forward with the ball as he loves to do. Leaves it to Kayuste on his right-hand side. Down the line is McAteer. Kayuste is available. McAteer crosses in low, dealt with before Athon could get a killer touch. And it's up to the halfway line where Palmer is well out of his area, but under no pressure from a red shirt. He gives it square to O'Shea. Nathan Jones, that more animated Palmer's gone down there. That's a bit of a concern. Ipswich have also got Athon sitting on the deck off to our right-hand side, but the keeper's more of a worry, really. Athon's up on all fours, but this could be interesting in terms of Alex Palmer pulling up like that. Christian Walton will be sent out, one would imagine, fairly soon.
It was very unusual for a goalkeeper to go down anyway. So, and funny enough, we have one down in the Charlton penalty area. We got Palmer went down, and actually we had a third player. I'm not quite sure who it was, who was nursing a bit of an injury, and I thought, oh no, we've got three in one go, you know. So we don't want that to happen. But at the moment, this is pretty good. I'm really interested in this defensive system that Charlton have got. I think if we can sort of recognise what they're trying to do, you know, and get those runners from midfield. I mean, Leif Davis has tried to make one run from the left back position to almost a central position. You know, and he's unlucky not to do it. McAteer's made the run. There are big gaps because the three main markers, Palmer has gone down again. Three main markers are sort of on one touchline, dead centre, and the other touchline. So there's lots of gaps between those three.
This doesn't look good as far as Alex Palmer's concerned. Christian Walton's out off to our left-hand side. He did get up and tried a little stretch come jog and went straight back down again. And I think Ipswich Town are going to have to change their goalkeeper with 21 minutes of this game gone. Their hero on Friday night at the Riverside, Alex Palmer, might well be having to make way for Christian Walton. Definitely pulled up as he was way outside of his area, dealing with a comfortable ball. It wasn't one that he had to really sprint for at the last moment. He was always in control of the situation, but it looks like something's popped on the far side. Immediately signalled to the bench. We're just watching a replay of that. Incidentally, Athon is up on his feet and he's fine and okay to continue. But that's Alex Palmer's night over. Just getting a round of applause. The hero, as I say, on Friday night on Teesside, is going to miss the remaining 3/4 of this match tonight.
Yeah, big surprise that he got injured in such a situation, because as you said, there was no pressure on him. It was just a desperate ball to get it away from the defensive area, just into some space. There was no Charlton player making a run in that area. Palmer just comfortably came out to deal with it and somehow has injured himself.
Well, as we all know, Town have got a very good, experienced goalkeeper in reserve, and by the looks of this, David Button will be on the bench on Saturday. Palmer, highly unlikely, one would have thought, to face his former club West Brom, as he comes off and applauds back to the supporters who've been very sympathetic in their reaction. And as I say, at least we know we've got a good goalkeeper coming off the bench, Mick.
Yeah, very much so. He's been very patient, incredibly patient. I'm surprised he's been as patient as he has been. You know, he's been very unlucky over maybe 2.5 years to be second choice. And I always felt that he would be the type of goalkeeper, because he is a good goalkeeper, he'd rather go somewhere else than be sort of second string. But he's been happy to do this. So he's a good goalkeeper to bring on, he really is.
Really good character as well, really popular as well. Got a lovely ovation from the Town fans as well. Will forever be a hero, a mainstay of that League One promotion side. Didn't play an awful lot in the Championship, of course, because of the form of Václav Hladký. Given away by Nunez, dwelling on the ball, coming forward. Here come Charlton with Carey. He's had such little involvement in the former Blackpool play. He's got a goal in him, Sonny Carey, already 3 for Charlton this season. Got 11 for a Blackpool side that didn't do masses in League One last year. Came with a decent reputation as a goal-scoring midfielder. For the moment, though, he's been fouled, and it's a free kick to Charlton. which is going to be taken by James Bree from a good distance from the Ipswich Town goal line, 33-34 yards perhaps. It's a rare opportunity for Charlton to cause some problems for Ipswich Town. Well, Charlton have been nothing in terms of an attacking force so far in this game, but they're going to free kick 35 yards from goal that James Bree is over off to our left-hand side. He knocks it into the Ipswich Town area, headed away by O'Shea, hit by Carey into the deck. The flick header will go onto the roof of the net. That was a comfortable one for the recently introduced Walton to watch go over his bar.
Well, we're obviously comfortable with playing that sort of defensive line very, very close to where the free kick is being taken. I know it's probably, just going by the yards, it's probably only about 8 or 9 yards away that they're playing, and
mistake from Ramsey. Clark's onto it, wide on the left-hand side. Very little support. He holds it up well, former Sunderland player. Excellent from Clark, spinning in field. Really good work from him. Then he's given it to McAteer, or at least tried to, but Bell was quickly into the challenge. And the ball is back now with Walton, just outside his penalty area. Gives it to Kayuste. Kayuste pokes it back to O'Shea. And Town can try to rebuild and pick up their early momentum, which has just been checked due to that injury to Palmer. Of course, that's one substitution window used by Kieran McKenna as well. Akpom centrally, drifting now off to the left-hand side, gives it to Davis under the Charlton fans' far side. 0-0. Back to Clark. Clark comes in field, might have a go. He knocks it into the box towards Akpom. Stretching to toe poke it away is Bell, the left wing back.
Well, there's no question who the most effective player for Town is at the moment, and it's Jack Clark.
Young, back to Nunez, sets himself, right-footed, lovely ball in, headed up and over by Jones. Akpom appeals for a penalty. It's not been given, but it is corner kick number 5 to Ipswich.
Yeah, this is incredible. It's good pressure. It's just a case of we seem to be able to push Charlton back. They're quite happy to go back, but it gets us into sort of nice areas to cross the ball, and we've had loads of crosses going in there, decent crosses as well, and we're winning a lot of corner kicks. We could easily take the lead with a set play.
Town by far the better side, but it's still 0-0. Clark with this corner kick, another good one, but saved on his line, dipped nicely into the gloves of Kaminsky. He'll bowl it out underarm to Bell. Bell steps over it, held up by McAteer. Now Athon will go after Gillespie. Gillespie with disguise into midfield, gives it to Coventry. Now shielded out of play. Coventry nudges Nunez into row A underneath us, but he's up and okay. Young with this throw in for Ipswich Town. A relatively rare start for the 40-year-old right back. Young has the ball behind his head, edging down this near touchline. Town playing from left to right in their blue shirts in this first half. Kayuste gives it back to Young. Young in field to Akpom. He's up for this one tonight. Chuba Akpom keen to make a positive impression. The left-hand side to Davis. Now Clark, the danger man at the moment for Ipswich Town, taking on a couple of Charlton players. Gets inside the area. Clark still has it. Goes square to Nunez. Nunez controls in the D and hits. Got underneath it, and it loops over the bar. But again, it's just a case of give the ball to Jack Clark at the moment for me.
Yeah, Jack Clark's playing exceptionally well, and all those little passes, setting players up just on the fringe of the box for a shot. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Just keep doing it. Somebody will strike a good one sooner or later, and they're good positions. You can just fire it through a ruck of players, and the goalkeeper can be deceived by it.
It's a good spell in general. 4 goals in his last 6 for Clark. Bell has done very well to get away from Nunez, running forward for Charlton. A rare foray into the Ipswich Town half of the field. He's gone a long way. Ball into the box towards Kelman, just too much on it. And that's nice to be able to see Christian Walton called upon as he slides along the deck and prevents Kelman getting on that ball.
Yeah, Walton to be pleased that he's had a little bit, something to do, and it wasn't an easy sort of thing to do, coming out and diving low at people's feet.
Palmer up towards Athon. Good battle between he and Jones, tangling with each other on the edge of the area. Jones needs some help, which he gets from Doherty. Doherty, the Scotsman, back into his 6-yard area, finds Kaminsky. Kaminsky puts his right foot through the ball, clears it up to halfway. The ball comes off the back of Kelman. Ipswich with Nunez, still looking for the first goal. Tries to get the ball into the box. The man down inside the area, it's McAteer. No interest in it from the referee. Belted high into the Suffolk sky by Kaminsky. Greaves with a glancing header back to O'Shea. And we are still looking for the first goal of the night. O'Shea with a good ball to Young. Young looks up, sees the run of Akpom, plays it to the right-hand side. McAteer now inside the Charlton area. Tries to go centrally, blocked off by Bell. Out on this right-hand side for a throw to Ashley Young as we approach the half-hour mark.
Yeah, McAteer's just got to be a little bit more patient. You know, he's in possession of the ball. He's not able to sort of throw Bell, you know, with those dummies. He's just got to be patient.
Greaves, first chance for him to run forward with the ball. Then he dispatches it to the left. Leif Davis, who's got Clark, the number 47, close to him. He goes to Greaves first. Back with Davis, far touchline. Behind him is Clark. Clark skips square with a couple of touches of the ball. Gives it to his captain. O'Shea wants somebody to come short. That's the signal. Then he bursts forward a yard into that space, but then he has to hold his position. The Town in the end go back to Walton. It's been good, has had a couple of involvements, found players with passes. Then that stop on the deck a few moments ago that Mick referenced from Kelman will all be helping build his confidence. Here he is again. Walton kicks the ball forward. If you're just joining us, that is right. It is Christian Walton in goal. He's come on for the injured Palmer. Ipswich on the left wing with Davis. Ball into box towards Athon. Came off Gillespie and went out behind for corner kick number 6. Had it not, Athon was in on goal.
It's an amazing amount of corner kicks, it really is, but they won't stop. With, you know, the more Charlton sort of are content to go back into their own penalty area, the more corner kicks they're going to concede.
Surely Town are going to create something tangible from one of these corner kicks. It's their 6th of this game with 31 minutes played. Clark puts this one in low. Comes off of McAteer's marker, high into the upper tier of this Ralph Ramsey stand, so 6 becomes 7. Let's go back to Graham.
Millwall 2, Stoke 0, Hull 2, Leicester 0, and Coventry ahead at Portsmouth.
Hull are doing okay. Decent summer recruitment, particularly in Ollie McBurney. 7th corner kick for Ipswich Town. Clark is on it once more. It looks another good one to the far stick. Greaves heads it, but he got underneath it, sadly, and it's over the bar.
Terrific corner again. I didn't like his last one. He changed his type of corner, tried to put one in low, which I thought, don't do that. The long bending corners have been good. They've put the goalkeeper under a lot of pressure. Don't stop doing them. Just keep. And he put that one in, and the keeper could do nothing about it. Greaves comes in on the back post, and I think all he should have done was just drop the header, ball back into the danger zone and let somebody else score rather than go for goals.
Nathan Jones frustrated with his keeper kicking it straight out of play. Ipswich Town still well on top in this game, but without a goal to show for it. Walton gives the ball to Greaves, who just headed over. Davis up the touchline to Clark. In comes his marker Ramsey. Spun back by Carey to Ramsey. Charlton in red. Now in the centre of the Charlton half is Gillespie, the North Stand singing Marcelino Nunez's song. Gillespie goes long for Charlton. Greaves should be able to deal with that against the far shorter Kelman. It's not a clever approach, that from Charlton, to launch it long towards Kelman. He's always going to be beaten in the air by either of these two centre halves. They have got the big man Leeburn on the bench, Charlton, if they want to mix things up later on in the game. Poor from Greaves, given away. Charlton trying to get in behind, but they won't. Greaves gets back ahead of Carey, and left-footed passes it to Clark. Poor from Greaves. Clark couldn't do anything with the control. Charlton get it back through Kelman initially. Jones, and now Gillespie once again. Gillespie was a kid at Newcastle many moons ago before his career really kicked on in a spell down under, and then went to Plymouth and is now a fixture in the EFL. O'Shea.
Here's the 3 markers, Brennan, look across the pitch here, and the number 3's gone in on Akpom, and the other lad's gone into midfield as well.
Bell gets there ahead of McAteer after a bit of a loose touch from Athon. Bell's done well. Decent left-sided player, Amari Bell. Strong lad as well. Now it's Coventry, very deep, trying to get on the ball for Charlton and trying to make things happen. definitely second best in this game, Charlton, but Nathan Jones will be happy as Larry with a scoreline, all things considered. It's as if Town have been peppering Kaminski in terms of efforts on goal. Here he is, the Belgian. Goes square to Jones, very central Jones, that's the position he's occupying. Kaminski once more. Played every Premier League game for Luton the season before last, Thomas Kaminski. Gillespie to Coventry. Charlton have a bit of possession, but it's all inside their half of the field, most of it, and their defensive third, to be honest. Now they try to advance things. Coventry forward towards Kelman. It's a bit more progressive from Athletic. Edge of the area. Charlton have it now wide right with Carey. Carey's cross into the area. It's deep. It goes right through the Ipswich Town 6-yard area. Picked up by Bell. Wide left outside the Town box. His cross comes in. There's a player free at the far stick. And it's Carey who got right underneath it. And it wasn't an easy chance, but it was by far Charlton's best chance of this half.
Yeah, and that's possibly the type of thing they sort of wait for a long time to sort of achieve, is to get some possession high up the pitch, and then when that first cross evaded everybody and the second cross was about to go in, there were 4 Charlton players inside our penalty area, so they obviously know that there's not going to be many opportunities. When there is an opportunity, they've got to get into forward areas.
Yeah, first time they've really been a threat and have been concerned in this game. Nunez for Ipswich, forward towards Athon on that left-hand side, takes on his man, gets away from Gillespie. Here's the Spaniard, edge of the area, sellers the ball, Athon to Akpom, controls and hits the bar when he should have scored. Nunez, here come Ipswich again, Athon shoots, blocked away. That was a good hit from the Spaniard. Charlton clear at long, clearly the closest we've come to what would have been the deserved opener. Kayuste, lovely skill in midfield, gliding forward, edge of the area. The Swede still has it, ball into the box away from Athon. And straight through to Kaminski.
Well, pure bad luck, nothing more than that. You know, it's a cracking shot from just outside the box. We've been in that position a lot, you know, just sort of about 20 yards out. We've been hitting other shots there. That one was absolutely perfect and really smashed onto the crossbar.
Keeper well beaten by the swing of the ball and also the power from Akpom. Akpom to McAteer. It's a bit lively when he's been on the ball, the on-loan Ajax player. Here is Kayuste, new international manager for him. Graham Potter confirmed as the Sweden boss in the last few days. Nunez to Akpom, McAteer to Davis, just inside the area. The ball ran away from him under pressure, but again, nice play from Ipswich.
Yeah, and that's the inside position that Kieran McKenna was so keen to teach Lee Davis, you know, is to come from the left back position into a central sort of midfield position, if you like, and on that occasion he's gone completely and utterly all the way.
Good flick on header by Kelman. Olaf's got the better of Young. Olaf's away for Charlton. Players coming back. Olaf, great save by Walton. Stretched out his left leg. I think it might have been going wide, but it was a terrific stop from Walton after Olaf had just brushed Ashley Young to one side.
Yeah, it was a good stop, good goalkeeping. I think the player would, if he was in that position again, he would lift it up over the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, Walton, must have been 14 yards off his line. You know, he had to come that far, but the idea really for the player on the ball would have been to lift it up and over. There was every chance to do it.
Good play by Olaf, just too strong for Ashley Young, who left in his wake. Full credit to Christian Walton. There won't be many teams at this level have a better second choice goalkeeper. Athon loses the ball on the stretch from Jones. Recent spell, and those chances for Carey and then latterly Olaf will have given Charlton a bit more belief they can be an attacking force in this game, which they haven't been thus far. Here, but it's still 0-0. Coventry rolls it short to Gillespie. Gillespie trying to switch play out to the far side. Davis is there, heads it away. Yeah, Town made 7 changes pre-match, then lost Palmer after 22 minutes to injury. Lovely turn from Kayuste, blatantly been held up. The referee's played a good advantage. Might be a yellow card in the end for Doherty, but play continues. Ipswich have it on the right. Akpom, the number 29, threads it through a little gap to O'Shea. Touches it short to Nunez. Nunez on this right-hand side finds Young, making a run down the line as McAteer, but the ball in the end winds its way back to the halfway line, and O'Shea to Young. Young trying to put it in behind for Akpom. Akpom goes after it between Jones and Kaminski. They snuff out that potential danger.
Yeah, I think Charlton have done well. They've obviously been given a sort of a way of playing. They've listened to the manager. They're trying desperately to make it work. And you know, they will feel quite happy with the fact that they've actually created a couple of chances, because it's a difficult...
Terrible kick from Kaminski, straight to Nunez. What can Ipswich Town do from that gift? Can they make the most of it? Nunez, edge of the area, shoots left-footed, tries to bend it into the far corner. Didn't get enough swing on it, and it's missed the target, 0-0.
Yeah, it's another shot at goal. It's missed the target on that occasion, but if he does it again, he'd probably hit the target. So we've just got to keep getting in those positions and just keep having a pop.
5 to go until half-time. We're still 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Every kick of every Ipswich Town game. We'll start the build-up to Saturday on the matchday preview on Friday. West Brom under Ryan Mason, the visitors here on Saturday. Matchday is on air from 12. It's a 12:30 kick-off. Walton quickly throws it out to Young. Young crosses the halfway line down this right-hand side. Former Manchester United man goes back to Nunez, square to Kiyuste. Kiyuste looking up, looking around, just sizing up options. Now it's with Ashley Young. Athon's made a run. Young instead goes square to Kiyuste. Kiyuste touches it on, looking for Nunez, but Jones is there swiftly, punts it long downfield. Walton well out of his area. That switch has been seamless from Palmer to Walton. Young towards Athon, holds on to the ball, gives it back to McAteer. Athon then runs into Bell, goes down, play continues with Kiyuste. O'Shea, one touch to Greaves. Jack Clark's very close to him. Greaves gives him the ball. Clark now tiptoeing towards Ramsey, coming in field. Clark still has it, goes back to O'Shea. He's had a good first half, Jack Clark. Here he is once again, 30 yards from goal, trying to get away from Coventry or find McAteer. Ball comes off Olaf, and that's another corner kick, an 8th of this first half to Town.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself, Jack Clark, he really is. I think that he found the Premiership a little bit difficult, like a lot of our players, but he's back where he knows he can be a key player.
Nunez on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. Incredibly, the 8th of this first half, which has 3.5 minutes still to run. Everybody back for Charlton inside the area off to our right. It's a deep one to Davis. Davis heads it back towards goal, but it was caught by Kaminski before a blue shirt could intervene. Underarm, he bowls it to his right-hand side. Gillespie infield to Coventry. Coventry looks up, plays it over the top to no one. Nathan Jones shows his frustration, his head's in his hands, looking on in disbelief, as O'Shea has the ball at the back for Ipswich Town. 0-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Greaves afterwards, 0800 141 2121 if you want to chat to Graham and Mick, or text 81333, start those messages SFK, or you can WhatsApp 08000 321 333 and also pop SFK at the start of those. Kiyuste to Davis. Davis, nice little change of direction, gets away from Coventry. Now Kiyuste running forward with the ball. Edge of the area, gets inside the box. Great from Kiyuste, goes square towards Akpom, who hit the bar a few moments ago, but before he can get on that one, it's cleared high towards the visiting fans by Gillespie.
Yeah, decent run, but I don't really think he was going up a bit of a dead end, you know, and there was no sort of future at the end of that run.
Young for Ipswich with a drag back, finds O'Shea. Now Jacob Greaves has it just north of the centre circle. Miscontrolled by Clark, took his eye off the ball at a crucial moment. It's his only error of this first half. Charlton give it away, well intercepted by Nunez. Now Leif Davis in towards O'Shea on the halfway line, given away by O'Shea straight to the opposing captain Doherty. O'Shea then wins it back. Strong challenge on Carey, which has left him down in the centre circle. Nothing doing other than a throw into Charlton on the far side.
They've done all right, Charlton. They sort of defend with this 8 players. It's a little bit complicated the way they do it, but that's what they do, and they've got this 2 that stay up the field, which is really important to them because they often get into a position where they need to go long, and the fact they've got a target of 2 up front, it does help them.
Charlton with Olaf, who gets shoved in the back by Davis. That's going to be a free kick. And referee just having a little glance at Leif Davis, almost suggesting that was half a yellow, so just watch his step. But it's a free kick, no yellow card so far in this game. No Azor Matusiwa talking of such matters tonight at all, because he's banned for one match. He'd been an ever-present in terms of starting league games for Town this season, the Dutchman. Every chance he'll be back on Saturday lunchtime, but it doesn't look likely Alex Palmer will. Free kick to Charlton, and it goes to the Ipswich area from Bree, headed by Jones from a fair old distance out. It's gone wide of the post. Goal kick to Walton.
What is that crowd reaction for?
No, I was wondering that as well. That confused me as well. I wasn't quite sure why. O'Shea to Nunez, given away by Nunez. Poor Bell inside the Ipswich Town area. Bell across the face of goal, deflected, headed up behind by Greaves. Got to be better than that, Ipswich Town.
Yeah, a strange header really from Greaves, because that was going actually into the hands of Walton.
4 minutes of added on time to be played. It's going to start with Charlton's first corner kick compared to the 8 that Ipswich Town have had. Wouldn't this be typical if Charlton hit Ipswich with a sucker punch from their first corner kick right at the end of this first half, off to our left-hand side. And it will swing to the near post. It's travelled a distance. Oh, how did it not go in? Goodness gracious me, what a let-off that was for Ipswich Town. It's somehow gone over the bar when it looked more likely to end up in the back of the net from Gillespie.
Very much so, and they tried to take their chance. They know they're not going to get many corners. They've got one there, and they send 7 players into our penalty area. That's an awful lot.
What a miss. We saw a terrible one, well, a great one from Ipswich's perspective from Strelitz and Middlesbrough on Friday night, but what a let-off that was from Gillespie. If it had been a defensive clearance, it would have been world class from that position. If he'd been heading back as an Ipswich player towards his own goal, and I don't know how he managed to get it up and over the bar, but thankfully he did. Anything less on the ball, and it would have been 1-0 Charlton against the run of play. As it is, we're 90 seconds, into the added on 4 minutes, 0-0. Greaves finds Clark. Can Ipswich Town get a deserved first half lead? Clark runs into trouble. Charlton get bodies back. Nunez with a touch to the left-hand side. Davis with a high cross into the area beyond the far post and out of play before McAteer gets his head on it. Goal kick.
Yeah, it was always going big, that one. I mean, it's a desperate effort by McAteer to keep it in play, but he was never going to keep it in play. They will get some inspiration, Charlton, from this last 2 or 3 minutes. They really will, because this is what their game is all about. Just, defend, don't concede, and just try to capitalise on just the 1 or 2 attacks, the 1 or 2 set plays that you can win, and then perhaps come away with the 3 points. So really, I think they're going quite happy with what they've done, although, from a Town point of view, it's also been an OK performance. We've sort of caused enough trouble to Charlton to feel that we've been unlucky not to be in front.
Headed on by Carey, nodded away from the back by Davis, touchdown by Coventry. Yeah, there's definitely hope for Charlton to go on and cause an upset. And Kaminsky's hardly had save after save to make. Good header by Athon. Akpom on the ball. Athon's down off the ball. Akpom still has it until eventually he's piled into from behind. Very scruffy challenge on him by the Charlton player, now getting a yellow card. I think it's their captain Doherty, the number 10 on the back of his red shirt now visible.
Yeah, it's dead centre, the free kick. It's probably 30 yards away. It's either, we've got to sort of have somebody who can hit a shot from 30 yards, or it's got to be one of the clever little free kicks around the wall, that we've perhaps practiced on the training ground. There's no chance of an angled cross. It's just too central for that type of thing.
The 3 obvious candidates over the ball, Young, Nunez and Davis, and now 3 has become 2. Young has walked away from it. He's standing near the Charlton wall for nuisance value, Ashley Young. It's going to be Nunez or Davis. Free kick about 30 yards from goal, no angle on it whatsoever really. It's very central. Looks like Nunez fancies this one. Hasn't scored for Ipswich Town yet. Now would be a good time to make the breakthrough in this championship fixture. Free kick to Town. It's Nunez who gets it up. Oh, and onto the roof of the net. It was a very, very good effort from the Chilean.
Yeah, it was a good strike. It really was. It had the pace. It had the, the bend on it.
That's it. The first half is over, and it's 0-0 between Ipswich Town and Charlton Athletic, Mick Mills.
Well, I think both dressing rooms will be okay. They'll be all relaxed. I think certainly Charlton will be relaxed to be going in at 0-0 and relaxed about the way they are playing. They've obviously been given a system of play which is a little bit complicated at the back, a little bit risky at the back. They're involving 5 defenders and 2 of them are stepping out into the midfield to take care of attacking midfield players of Town, which leaves their 3 well spread at the back, a lot of gaps, but they seem happy to do it, and so they're defending with an 8. And if they're needing to go long when they win the ball, they can do that comfortably because they've got a target of 2 up front. Kelman and Olafe are sort of just occupying our centre-backs, if you like. So there is an out for them. They've been very patient, Charlton, to sort of do anything in attack in the game. They've managed to do that with their patience. They've had a couple of opportunities which they could have scored from. So they'll be quite happy, but I think Town will be happy. We started very positively, and we, in no time at all, we were throwing long throws into the penalty area. We were getting corners, which we were able to put in there. Free kicks were going in there, and the pressure was all on Charlton. It really was, and the whole of the opening period was taking place at the south stand end, and anybody that's got a seat up the other end, they wouldn't have been seeing anything. It was a good start, but we weren't able to sort of get that one great chance to sort of take the lead. I think that the way Charlton play, if you can get in front, if you can get a 1-0 lead, I think that puts an awful amount of pressure on Charlton. It really does. Have they got the nerve then to sort of carry on playing the way they have set out to play? 1-0 down, it'd be difficult. 0-0, they've got inspiration from that. So, both dressing rooms, I think, will be just pretty much just the managers will be saying, just give us more of what you've already given us, and everything will be okay. Well, one will get it wrong and the other one will get it right. So it'll be interesting to see which manager, having given that message, will be the successful one.
Town with more than 2/3 of the possession and double the number of shots compared to Charlton Athletic, 8 times the number of corner kicks, but sadly at the interval it's just 0-0 between these two sides.
8 games in the Championship in total tonight. Elsewhere, Coventry look like they're going to go further clear at the top as things stand. 1-0 up away at Portsmouth. Brandon Thomas Asante with the only goal of the game so far. Millwall 2 up at home to Stoke. Likewise, the home team on top at the MKM Stadium. Hull 2, Leicester 0. In the 8 o'clock kick-off, Bristol City was levelled at home to Southampton, so it's 1-1 there. Adam Armstrong putting the Saints in front before Anis Mehmeti levelled. Preston 0, Birmingham City 1. Derby and Norwich are goalless. Blackburn leading Sheffield United by 1-0. 3 English sides in Champions League action tonight. It's Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0 at present. At Manchester City 1 up at Villarreal. Erling Haaland on target. And Anthony Gordon for Newcastle. They lead Benfica 1-0 at St James's Park. We'll go around the grounds locally in just a moment.
Conspiracy theories really can impact the way the world works.
Disinformation. You think you're winning.
There could be 1,000 deepfakes.
But it's because of you we work 24/7 to verify the facts with digital tools and reporters on the ground.
BBC News, Moscow.
Roger. In the West Bank. So, no matter how quickly disinformation spreads, we'll be ready. The fight for truth is on. Trust is earned. This is our BBC.
Ipswich Town 0, Charlton 0. Half-time in our main feature on BBC Radio Suffolk. We'll hear from former Town midfielder Kevin Horlock in just a moment or so. Non-league-wise, a couple of all-county clashes of note. Let's join Russell Claydon in Leiston. AFC Sudbury, the visitors in the Southern Premier League tie. Russell.
It's promotion hunting Leiston, who have a 1-goal advantage at the Flannery Stadium against the patch-up AFC Sudbury at the interval, courtesy of Ben Folkes' fine 10th minute goal. After Jensen Mulqueen had an early shot blocked for the visitors, it was Leiston who got themselves into the early lead. The Blues broke from a Suds attack with a long ball releasing Folkes, who was able to make up the ground into the area without firm challenge before firing an unstoppable finish across Marcus Garnham's goal, which went in off the crossbar for his 6th goal of the season. Mulqueen, one of 5 Sudbury changes with a trio of injuries hitting the second from bottom side, went close to equalising a few minutes later but lifted a corner over the angle of post and bar, while Callum Page soon sent a curling effort just beyond the far top corner. Leiston began to exert more control with long spells of possession, and Fraser Alexander had 2 chances to extend the lead, one of which forced Garnham into a low save. But Sudbury came on strong towards the end of the half, with only a superb full-stretch diving save from Billy Johnson denying Mackay Mackenzie from Iffy Allen's cross, before the Leiston keeper also soon did well to push away a long-range effort from Finlay Corrigan. At half-time, it's Leiston 1, AFC Sudbury 0.
Thanks, Russell. Let's go to Mildenhall Town next, where Lowestoft Town are the visitors in the Isthmian North. That one's being watched by Eden Hannigan.
Yeah, it's half-time here and it's goalless so far. Mildenhall Town 0, Lowestoft Town 0. It's been a first half that has lacked any real quality, to be honest with you, Graham, but there have been some chances to report on, and all of them are for the visitors. The first was a free kick in a dangerous position, awarded to Lowestoft as Ashton Blogg was hacked down outside of the Mildenhall Town box. After a fairly long delay as Blogg received treatment, Mitchell Belmar stepped up to take the set piece, which hit the wall. It did go behind for a corner, but the visitors were unable to convert a chance. Just before the half-hour mark, perhaps the best chance of the first 45, Lowestoft picked up possession after a poor attempt at a back pass by Mildenhall. Gabriel Overton then played it through to Aaron Bullant, and goalkeeper Finlay Iron completely missed the ball, which allowed the 2 Lowestoft players a clear run at goal. Somehow, though, both players were unable to convert the chance. The ball rebounded off the post, off of one of the 2, and behind for a goal kick in a big let off the home side. Overton had the last real chance on goal in the 35th minute, but his shot was once again saved by Iron. The visitors have definitely had the better of the possession, but they will be wary as Mildenhall has slowly started to grow into this one and looks a bit more comfortable on the ball in the last 5 or 10 minutes of this half. But they are still yet to have a real attempt on goal. Both of the sides will be hoping for a bit more quality in the second half if the deadlock is to be broken here, because right now it's half-time and it's Mildenhall Town 0, Lowestoft Town 0.
Thanks, Eden. Full second half commentary on the way from Portman Road, where it's Ipswich Town 0, Charlton 0 in our main feature. During the final hour of our Total Sport programme at the weekend, we heard from Stuart Ainsley at Felixstowe Walton United. The Seasiders having become the first team to beat Malden and Tiptree in the Isthmian North Division this season with a 2-1 win at the Martello ground on Saturday. The big spending Essex side are managed by former Ipswich Town midfielder Kevin Horlock, who left Needham Market last year. They have an FA Cup first round clash with Port Vale to look forward to on Monday week. Let's hear from Horlock, who has former Town players Anthony Wordsworth, Freddie Sears and Macaulay Bonne in his squad. First of all, naturally disappointed to lose the unbeaten run at the weekend.
Yeah, look, it was always going to go some point. Obviously, I'd have preferred it not to be today, but that's football. I think both teams come into this game under strength with people missing. I had 2 defenders, midfielders playing at the back, but it was a decent game of football, I think, for everyone to watch. Did we deserve to lose? Probably not. We've dominated second half, and the deciding goal was a little bit of a calamity, a little bit of a mix-up, and then you've got to give Felixstowe credit. They've sat in and defended their box really well, and we created half chances, but nothing significant. And it's football. And to be fair, I'm not too disappointed because I think in football you need a little reminder. I think if we'd have won today, we'd have been 8 points clear. And sometimes football's good at giving you a little reminder that you still got to work really hard. So hopefully it can be a kickstart for us to going on to another really long unbeaten run.
Yeah, you've had such a good start to the season. You say it probably had to end sometime. But disappointed to end the way it did, because that goal was a real gift, wasn't it? Yeah, it just gave them a leg up, didn't it? In a half that we've dominated from start to finish, it gave them something to hold on to, and they did it. You know what I mean? Give them credit. The keeper's made a couple of saves, and they've defended and headed and kicked things and got bodies in the way. So
You've got to applaud that, do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, they've worked really hard for the win today and walk away with 3 points, but we use it as fuel. Like I say, it's the monkey off our back in terms of we've now lost a game of football and we'll kick on.
You joined Maldon and Tiptree in February. You must be delighted with the progress that's been made since then.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. Everything at the football club's gone up a notch. We've obviously got an unbelievable squad. Like I say, we got 6 missing today, and we've still come to the team that's going to be our local rivals and the team that's going to push us all the way and still should have won the game. So we've got a lot of strength, but it's about performing consistently. So hopefully we can go on a longer run now and get points on the board.
You've gone on record as saying that you think this is probably the best Step 4 side ever assembled, and you also said previously that you thrive on pressure. You're obviously under a lot of pressure with the squad you've got to produce the goods. That's
the difficult thing. Look, I trust in the squad. Like I say, lads have come in today playing out of position and still put an unbelievable shift in against the team that's up there and one of the fancied ones. The trouble for me is keeping them all happy and giving them enough minutes. I trust them to beat anyone on their day. Today just wasn't our day.
You've got 3 ex-Ipswich Town players: Freddie Sears, Macaulay Bonne, Anthony Wordsworth, all top quality players. How much, as a former professional yourself, does it help when it comes to managing players like that at this level?
Yes, do you know what? In my managerial career, they're the ones that are easiest to manage because they know what it takes, they know what it looks like, they know how to prepare. Do you know what I mean? It's easy with lads like that, and that's the reason we brought them in, really. 1, their quality, but 2, to handle the pressure, because we have got a target on our back. People are looking at us to foul. But they can handle the big moments, so hopefully we've got some big games ahead. Obviously none bigger than the Port Vale game, but we go there enjoy that, but we just want to keep racking points up. We've obviously not got the 3 points today, but there's loads of points. We've obviously next league game's a home game against Downham, so we're bounced back, and like I said to the lads in there, listening to them singing and celebrating, we use that as fuel.
You found it tough at Step 2 last season with Needham Market, which was always going to be. But how much has that, do you think, improved yourself as a manager?
Yeah, look, good competent sailors weren't made on a calm sea. You know, you've got to face adversity at times. You've got to come up with other ways to win games of football. So that all helped me. I had an unbelievable group of players there that overachieved, if we're totally honest. And it was a really good experience, and I'm hoping one day I'll get there with Maldon.
Top of the league, you mentioned FA Cup first round proper. You're away to Port Vale. Fancy a chance of causing an upset with the squad you've got?
Yeah, you've got to hope. Look, obviously I know I'm fully aware that we'll have to have the best game that we've ever had. We probably need them to underperform. We probably need a little bit of luck, but you never know in the FA Cup. The big thing for me is that it is a free hit. We're not going to be the favourites to win that game, so we can go there and enjoy it. And like I said, we've got players that have played at that level, so we're not going to go in there and be rabbits in a headlight. We'll enjoy the occasion, hopefully put on a good performance, and who knows where that takes us.
Well, best of luck with that. Nice to catch up, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Kevin.
Cheers, mate.
Kevin Horlock, the Maldon Tiptree manager, with Nick Garnham after his side's defeat to Felixstowe and Walton United at the weekend. The former Town midfielder watching with interest tonight, I'm sure. Full second half commentary from Portman Road come right up.
Jack Clark to the centre, Akpom. The ball went through him, not what he intended. Young into the middle immediately to McAteer, was offside. Didn't control it as well as he would have wanted to anyway, but it was an excellent pass from Young to fire that in first time to McAteer. The idea was excellent from the former England international. 7th corner kick for Ipswich Town. Clark is on it once more. It looks another good one to the far stick. Greaves heads it, but he got underneath it, sadly, and it's over the bar. Edge of the area. Charlton have it now wide right with Carey. Carey's cross into the area. It's deep, it goes right through the Ipswich Town 6-yard area. Picked up by Bell, wide left outside the Town box. His cross comes in. There's a player free at the far stick. And it's Carey who got right underneath it. And it wasn't an easy chance, but it was by far Charlton's best chance of this half. Nunez for Ipswich. Forward towards Athon on that left-hand side. Takes on his man. Gets away from Gillespie. Here's the Spaniard, edge of the area. Sellers the ball. Athon to Akpom. Controls and hits the bar when he should have scored. Nunez, here come Ipswich again. Athon shoots, blocked away. That was a good hit from the Spaniard. Charlton clear at long. Clearly the closest we've come to what would have been a deserved opener. We kicked it down. It's Nunez who gets it up. Oh, and onto the roof of the net. It was a very, very good effort from the Chilean.
Hi.
Just came to say hello.
Film Club on BBC iPlayer.
I have something to tell you. I'm moving.
Starring Amy Lou Wood.
Is this going to make me lose the plot?
I just don't want this to be the moment I look back upon and regret.
Film Club. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
We're with you till 10:30 with Match Night. Your thoughts post-match welcome by the usual channels. If you want to drop us a text, it's 81333 on WhatsApp. We're 08000 321 333. Start your messages with SFK. To speak to Mick Mills at full-time, 0800 141 2121. Let's rejoin Mick. And first, Brenna Woolley ahead of the second half at Portman Road.
Looks like the same 22 players that ended the first half, and I emphasise ended because Ipswich had to make a change. Alex Palmer, their goalkeeper, went off after about 22 minutes that first half, pulling up. Christian Walton, therefore, is in goal. Back for 7 changes pre-match, incidentally. Young, O'Shea, the captain, Greaves and Davis. There's Nunez and Kayuste, then McAteer, Akpom and Clark. Up front, Athon. On the bench, Taylor, Kipre, Hurst, Smodics, Philogene, Eggerly, Furlong and Johnson. Town in blue, white, blue, attacking the north stand end off to our left in this second half when play gets underway. Charlton in red, white, red have Kaminsky in bottle green off to our left, and then it's Bree, Ramsey, Jones, Gillespie, Bell, with Carey, Coventry and the Book Doherty, their captain, in midfield. Kelman and Olaf, the targets up front. On the bench, Mannion, Burke, Rankin, Costello, Berry, Nibbs, Hernandez, Apter, Campbell and Leeburn. And just double checking as Mr. Farai Halam, the referee, does likewise, that it's the same players that I've just read out, and indeed it is. So it's Charlton kicking off. Carey, their number 14, rolls the ball to the back and then belted forward, as more and more teams do, for Jacob Greaves to win a relatively unchallenged header early doors. O'Shea rises against Olaf, who's the big man of the two up front for Charlton. Forward from Bree. Kelman couldn't get the better of Greaves. It's back to Walton, who lifts it up towards the halfway line. Header won by Jones above Athon, who at some stage will make way for George Hurst, no doubt. I'm sure we'll see Philogene, Smodics as well, maybe Eggerly, maybe Taylor in midfield. Whatever the scoreline, Kieran McKenna's likely to make changes. It's rare that he doesn't use all 5, although he only has 2 more windows to do so. Here is Athon on this near side, being challenged by Ramsey. Gets the ball back to Greaves. Charlton pegging Ipswich Town back somewhat. Walton takes 1 touch, then clears with his second. Straight down the field. Charlton should be able to deal with this ball. Jones gets there ahead of Athon and gives it back to Kaminsky. The Belgian guides it left-footed out to the left back, Bell. Bell gets away from McAteer. He would have done if he hadn't had his red shirt being held by the former Leicester player.
Yeah, he should have done better, McAteer, there, because the left back, his marker, was in trouble. That was a poor ball from the goalkeeper. He had his back to where he wanted to go to. You just keep him facing the north stand and he'll end up giving you the ball.
I think Miles Leeburn might be the first change for Charlton. Nathan Jones has had a long chat with the big man. He's 6'6", Miles Leeburn, 21-year-old striker. His dad Carl made almost 350 appearances for Charlton back in the day. Actually came from Chelsea, was where he started his career, young Leeburn. Akpom on the far touchline, gives it back to Young, the right back, square to O'Shea. Expecting probably 6 or 7 changes back to the team when West Brom come here on Saturday lunchtime to Ipswich Town. The ball goes off of Bree. I've not seen a great deal of in open play, James Bree. Out for a throw to Ipswich, midway inside the Charlton half of the field. The onus on Ipswich Town to go on and win this game. 0-0, not good enough. I'm sure the home crowd will let them know that if it is at full time. Young comes forward for Ipswich. Ball in the box, looks a good one, headed away by Jones. Doing well against Athon for the most part. Here is Carey picking up scraps for Charlton. Carrying the ball up to the halfway line, playing it forward towards Olaf, but stepping in timely fashion is O'Shea, and he gets it back to Walton. Walton out to Nunez. Ashley Young in space, far side, urged on by the crowd, gets inside the Charlton half. The drummers creating a bit of atmosphere inside Portman Road. Nunez to Kayuste, holds up against Coventry. Greaves on the floor to Davis. Davis, the only player starting this game that played in the 6-0 win, 2.5 years ago now. Akpom loses the ball, but it goes to Nunez. Yeah, definitely action from the Charlton bench down below us, which is an interesting one. 3 minutes into the second half, you do sometimes wonder why the manager just didn't make it at the interval. Greaves to Walton. Walton inside his area finds O'Shea. O'Shea, terrible pass away, but I don't think too much is going to come of it. Carey couldn't react quickly enough to do something with the ball as Gillespie goes into the back of Akpom.
That's a bit agricultural, that, from Gillespie.
Harvey Nibbs is also a player readying himself for action, former Reading and Cambridge player. Young gives the ball to McAteer, that pair working in tandem on the far side. Young over the top for McAteer to run onto the ball. Athon's also there with his shadow Jones. Played away by Bell, the left back. Doherty in field, touch forward by Gillespie. In goes Young to try to win it for Ipswich Town. Gillespie then just belts it down the egg. Greaves has got a bouncing ball to deal with. Heads it away from Kelman. Did well in the end. Under pressure, awkward one to deal with, up and amongst the lights. Nunez to Young. Young trying to get Athon away. Ball comes back to Young off the defender. Nunez to Kayuste in midfield. Both managers down below us watching on. Kieran McKenna to the right of Nathan Jones. Greaves down the line. Clark one-on-one with Bree. Doesn't need a second invitation to run at him. Gets towards the byline and then in towards the near post area. Flicks the ball off the outside of his right boot. Kaminsky had to get fingertips on it, and it's a corner.
Yeah, that's the first second half contribution from Jack Clark. He was the danger man in the first half, and that's a good run. It really was a good run, and he was unlucky not to get across into a dangerous area.
Clark, arguably Town's best player so far on this corner kick. The 9th overall for Ipswich Town, first in the second half, and it comes towards the far stick. There are players there. It's headed away by Redshirt as far as Young. Young controls it to the left, and Davis on the left-hand side. Clark, quicker delivery, straight towards the far post, dancing header down and just wide from Chuba Akpom. That was a really good opportunity for Ipswich Town.
It's another good ball in. He should really do better. I mean, it's found him in a really good position, and I don't think he's got his header quite right. You know, he's got to be hitting the target there. He's headed it down, which is the right thing to do, but he's headed it just badly wide.
Yeah, another one he should have scored from. Davis up the halfway line to Young. The two fullbacks linking up well. Ashley Young's seen a lot of the ball at the moment, which is no bad thing. He picks out Akpom. Akpom to the right once again, finding Young. One-on-one with Doherty. In comes Young's cross, headed away by Jones, chested by Olaf, and takes it on his right thigh. A little bit risky, not too far outside of his area. Bell gives it to Gillespie, who puts his left boot through. 0-0 on BBC Radio. Suffolk here at Charlton on the ball. Coming through midfield with Carey, who's got a goal, and then the one-time Norwich youngster. Carey inside the Ipswich area, and he scores! Charlton take a 1-0 lead, and it's the former Canary who goes to celebrate with the travelling fans. Ipswich Town hit by a sucker punch, the better side in this game from the outset, but they're now 1-0 behind, and this is a test of their character.
Well, I don't think Dara O'Shea fancied that at all. As soon as the player decided, I've got the ball under complete control here. There's not about passing now. It's all about getting at the defenders, and it's starting to run directly at Dara O'Shea. Dara O'Shea was on his heels, he was backpedaling, and he did not look balanced, he did not look happy, and I wasn't surprised that he was sort of stepped past and they got the chance to fire it into the back of the net. That's good, positive play from the striker, it really is. I mean, he's done well, he's collected the ball and he's thought of only one thing, is run at the centre half as quickly as possible.
That's how you score a goal. I mentioned in the first half I had a good record, 11 goals last season for Blackpool, who weren't really pulling up trees in League One. That's his 4th already from midfield for Charlton in the Championship. As I said, came through at Norwich, didn't make it at Carrow Road, had a loan at Kings Lynn, picked up by Blackpool, and then he's been a really solid acquisition by Charlton in the summer. Great bit of recruitment. Akpom on the right-hand side, taking on all comers, and he wanted the referee to play the advantage. The referee's halted play. Akpom thought he had the better of Gillespie wide on the Ipswich right. So let's see what Ipswich Town can do. We were just saying that 0-0 would have been a bad scoreline for Ipswich Town. Well, 1-0 against, obviously, numerous times worse. This game can't finish like this from Ipswich Town's perspective, and at least they have got another 37 minutes to turn this one around. And they have the cavalry underneath us at some stage. Nunez with a free kick into the Charlton area, headed away by Bell. Of course, at least Charlton now have something to hold on to and hit Ipswich Town on the break, which they're trying to do now. Kelman, it's 2-on-2. Nunez back defending pretty much on his own that side for Ipswich. Kelman comes in field, shoots, saved by Walton. It's a good hit as well by Kelman. Walton palmed it off to his right-hand side.
I'll tell you what, it was a good save because it's definitely taken a deflection and there's no question about it. He's hit it well, but it's just clipped somebody on the way through, and Walton has done remarkably well to keep his concentration there.
Yeah, well done, Christian Walton. Yeah, it did. Oh, absolutely. He reacted well. Charlton leading 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Over on that right-hand corner. It's a corner kick for them, and it comes headed away by Greaves. It's Carey, the goal scorer. Gives it to the right-hand side, Coventry. Back to Carey by the byline. Low into the middle, flick towards goal. Saved by Walton, but headed in. Flag stayed down. It's going to count. Charlton lead 2-0. Once more, they go to celebrate with their fans on the far side. Gillespie leading the celebrations. Walton beaten twice in the space of a couple of minutes. And what a scoreline this is at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 0, Charlton Athletic 2.
Well, they were intent on getting that ball back into our penalty area. As soon as the corner kick was cleared, it came back down their right-hand side, and you could see them just desperate to get the ball back in the box. When they were able to, it was a good ball. The first touch of the ball was really threatening. That was blocked. But then the second attempt, that was pretty much straightforward. It was a free, pretty much an open goal just to head it in, because Walton has been brought to the near post. It's left an open goal just to head the ball in. So this is
it's terrible, isn't it? It's a really bad scoreline. No excuses. This is a really bad scoreline for Ipswich Town. And where are the characters out there as well? O'Shea is certainly one of them, the captain. He belts it forward, but you'd have concerns looking down there. That's what happens when you don't score goals. You have 9 corner kicks. Didn't score from any of them. Hit the bar. Akpom missed another chance. Could have been 3. I mean, there was an opportunity saved well by Walton just before that, but a scoreline beyond the wildest dreams of Charlton. Hopefully, at least Ipswich Town have time. Kieran McKenna's never lost a midweek league game outside the Premier League. Wide on the left-hand side, Athon coming into the Charlton box, goes to the edge of the area, gives it to Clark. He's been amongst the goals recently. Sets up Kayuste, blocked, had it to do better. Out as far as Nunez. Nunez loses the ball. Town get it back through Kayuste. Kayuste jabs his cross towards the far stick. Davis with a header just over the top of Athon, out behind goal kick. The problem is now, as I was just saying, when Charlton broke to make it 2-0, they had something to hold on to at 1-0. Well, even more to hold on to at 2-0, and they're just going to have numerous bodies behind the ball and make it very difficult for Town to get through. And all the noise here in the background is coming from the noisy South London contingent.
Yeah, really what we've sort of made difficult. We can't stay calm and collected anymore. We've got to really just go for it and, just take a chance.
I did fear this game as Walton. No fault of his that Town are behind. Clears to the far side, nodded down. Charlton have it in midfield, not for long, given away. Clark's on it. Still only 12 minutes gone in the second half. There is still time. Clark carrying it forward, overlapping on that right-hand side. Ipswich have it. McAteer low into the box towards Athon. He's hit it. He's appealing for a penalty kick. It's gone off a Charlton player behind. It's no more than a corner, but that looked like a really good chance. But I guess you also have to credit the defender getting in the way.
Yeah, it was good attack by Town, a really good attack, but it was excellent defending in the end to get the block in.
A 10th corner kick for Ipswich Town. 2.5 minutes before the hour mark. They're 2-0 down to Charlton. And it comes right-footed from Nunez. Good delivery. Greaves heads it up towards the goal line. Nodded down. Comes to Davis. Davis hits it into the deck. Surely it's in. It's into the net. But the flag, has it gone up? It looks to have done. Flag's gone up. It won't count. It's a Charlton ball at the back. Hugely controversial moment. Yep, flag's definitely up. It's definitely still 2-0 to the visitors.
I don't understand why the linesman is so slow at putting his flag up, because he's caused all this disturbance now. I looked at the referee, it looked as if he was just adamant that it was offside. It was blatantly offside, and just stayed very calm. But the linesman just didn't help the stadium by just not putting his flag up.
I don't know. Can't see it from a particularly good angle.
I think so.
Wasn't much in it at all. Charlton over the top. Olaf's going to run after it. Will get there ahead of Greaves. Olaf has the ball wide right outside the Ipswich area. Greaves gets to the byline. Olaf into the middle, sorry. In the way was O'Shea. That was a worrying half a second. Davis down the line to Clark. Clark looking up. Athon's making a run. Clark into the centre circle. Kiyuste. Now it's with Young. Town coming forward with ambition on the right-hand side. It's McAteer getting inside the box. Pulls it back to Kiyuste. Kiyuste sets himself. Now just edge of the box. And the D, left-footed, gets underneath it. It swings woefully wide. Nothing doing there. Leeburn is finally coming on for Charlton, who, as I say, is a big, tall striker, but adds extra height at the back when needs be. Particularly if he comes on for Kelman. That will make Charlton an even taller side to deal with any more of these free kicks or corners that Ipswich Town get. Just shy of the hour mark on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport.
There's no question. I just think we're creating. We look as if we're going to score, but we're not hitting the target enough for me. And that's what we've really got to do now. We've got to make sure that whatever opportunities we have, hit the target and test the goalkeeper.
12 shots in the first half, just the one on target. As he kept saying, Kaminski had a great deal to do for Old Town with a better side. At the moment, Charlton have clearly grown in belief. That period towards the end of the first half, when they had opportunities, some of the best ones of the game, and they've come out and had a real go, and they've not stood off Ipswich Town and had any respect or any worry. They've realised at half-time, hey, we can go on and win this, and at the moment they're in pole position to do that. Kiyuste trying to get away from Coventry. He's done well on the centre spot. Kiyuste looking for Athon. In the way is Ramsey. Ramsey then plays it forward. Greaves wins a header. Kiyuste is back on the ball, held up in the middle third. Gets it to Nunez. Nunez to the right, and McAteer overlapping is Young. McAteer comes in, has a go left-footed, pings off the defender Gillespie. All hands on deck for Charlton. Nunez lifts it in beyond the far post. The defender Bree sees it go across him and out of play, has it? Well, it certainly has now for a goal kick. Double change. Leeburn and Campbell, both attacking players coming on for Charlton. Hurst and Philogene coming on for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, I can understand our changes if that's what we're going to do, without question. We need our sort of best players on the pitch, really. And Philogene has been one of those this season. We know he can score. That's what we need to do. Get him on the pitch.
And because of the scoreline, people afterwards on the phone will say we needed our best players on the pitch from the start. And Kieran McKenna will get a lot of grief for his team selection, and he has invited it. If it stays like this, it's just a change of the front two. Kelman and Olaf come off, and they're replaced by Campbell and Leeburn. It's far from a shutting up shop change from Nathan Jones. He's keeping the same system. Still big man, small man. Campbell very quick, very lively, the number 7. Has played wide a fair bit in his career, but he's been playing up top alongside Kelman of late, and he's up alongside the giant Leeburn. Here come the changes for Town. Athon coming off to be replaced by Hurst is the first alteration, and will it be Philogene for McAteer? One would have thought is the obvious change, and indeed it is. So we've got one more opportunity to make a change, Kieran McKenna. Right, let's see what these two can do. 28 minutes to go, and it's going to be Kaminski to take this goal kick. Leeburn immediately wins his first header, flicked on well by Bree to Campbell on the right hand side. Campbell with a chance to cross, and it comes towards the area, cleared away by Young. There was hesitancy at the back from Ipswich Town, and Carey was in there hoping for an opportunity. So too Doherty and Leeburn. It's a corner kick to Charlton, but that could have been worse.
Yeah, no real decision between goalkeeper and defender there. The ball is into the danger zone. I'm just wondering, could the keeper have come and stepped out and dealt with it? But there certainly was a lack of understanding.
Town rattled. Charlton lead 2-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Bree with this corner kick, usually good from these kind of positions. In it goes to the middle. Glancing header away by O'Shea. It's a wrestling match between Jones and Davis. The referee says 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Play on. Charlton have it with Coventry. Disguised ball towards the byline, and Campbell too much on it even for his pace. He knocks it into the middle. It's headed in by Leeburn. Surely it's gone out of play first. No! The referee's given it. Unbelievably, Charlton Athletic lead 3-0 at Portman Road, and it's Leeburn, who's only been on the field for a matter of minutes, has rubbed salt into Ipswich Town's gaping wound. What an awful scoreline this is for Ipswich Town and Kieran McKenna. 7 changes ahead of kick-off, and Ipswich Town have been spanked 3-0 by Charlton.
That was terrible. I mean, that's just basically people believing the ball's going to go out of play, not dealing with the situation. You've got to just go and believe that it's going to stay in play. You've got to be pessimistic as a defender. You've got to believe the worst. Then you're ready to do something. But we just allow the guy to get to the byline and keep it in play. And his ball in is good. The header's dead simple. You know, it's just, look, we've just given up on it.
Ooh, we can't see it from an angle, or the right angle, as to whether the ball went out of play or not. It was close, but yeah, again, still can't tell. Anyway, it counts. Charlton lead 3-0. What a scoreline this is. Ipswich Town's home bubble has well and truly burst here tonight. Philogene trying to get involved, wide left. Well, Charlton had a remarkable comeback against Ipswich Town a couple of years ago. Will rules be reversed here tonight? Philogene inside the area. Town score now, you never know. Back it goes to Greaves. 3-1 would look a lot happier. Into the middle from Davis. Kayuste inside the box. Turns, hits, saved by Kaminski. If anything, the deflection rather took the sting off the ball and allowed the Belgian to make the stop. I think it's just a sense of disbelief inside Portman Road. The referee is having a go. What's he? There's a retake, or Kaminski's done something wrong.
I think the keeper's, I don't know whether he's just held it for too long. I don't know what he's, you know, it's against the goalkeeper. It's going to be in a very, I don't know, corner kick. Where's this come from?
No idea. It's very bizarre. It's a corner kick. I thought he was going to give a free kick in the area. No, I thought it was going to be a free kick to Ipswich Town in the penalty area, but it's a corner. Taylor's coming on for Ipswich Town. Final change of the night for Ipswich Town as well. By the looks of things, we're not going to see Smodics or Reggerly. Maybe we are. Taylor's sitting down again. Corner kick to Ipswich Town.
What's this guy doing?
The referee's coming across to the near side. Whether he needs a new whistle or whatever, or whether something's just been thrown on the field. Something might have been thrown on the field off to our left-hand side. Happened a couple of times in the derby. Well, 66 minutes played live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Ipswich Town need to score from this corner, you fancy. If they do, they're in with a shout. It's Davis, left-footed, under the bar it goes. It's out the other end off a Charlton head. It's another corner kick to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, decent corner kick. Total. Decent corner. It's in a dangerous zone. You know, this good defending in the end, but we really got to have somebody who's going to attack the ball, you know, and we have a lack of that.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. Still a quarter of this game to go. Philogene plants it deep beyond the far post. Headed back centrally. No, behind by Greaves, I think it was.
Well, that's the second one that he's won at the back post, and sometimes you've got to forget about heading for goals. Just head to drop the ball into the 6-yard box, into a central position for somebody else to put the ball in the back of the net, not when you're in a difficult angle to head for goals. That's twice he's done it tonight.
What a win this is going to be for Charlton.
Massive.
Headed forward by O'Shea, knocked away by Gillespie from Hurst. Up in the air goes Davis. Leeburn forward to Campbell. Both the subs involved in the third goal of the game. Here is Campbell again down the right hand side. Low ball into the middle, cleared away by O'Shea. Had he not, Doherty was knocking it home from 6 yards for 4-0.
Well, he's done well since he's come on, really. He's making some great runs, but I thought he was offside on that occasion.
It's going to be a funny old season this for Ipswich Town. Throw in on this near side, which is going to be taken by Bell. Well, Charlton certainly aren't sitting back at 3-0. they think they can draw more blood. Philogene back for Ipswich Town. He's taken the last touch, gives it to Davis. Davis clears forward on this near side. Hurst yet to really make an impression on this game. Can't get on the ball. Coventry goes back to Kaminski. Kaminski right-footed, out of play on this near side. Throw in for Leif Davis. Oh yeah, that unbeaten midweek run in the EFL of Kieran McKenna's under serious threat now. Davis coming in field. Back-to-back defeats for Ipswich off the back of the latest international break as well at the moment. Davis shoves Doherty out of the way. Kayuste steps in there as well. Still no sign of Taylor. He was ready to come on, but I think maybe the Ipswich Town bench have realised that would be their final window of opportunity, and he's sat back down for a bit longer. Clark on the right wing, taking on and beating Bell. Great run from Clark into the box, in low it comes, deflected out behind. It's another corner kick to Ipswich Town, which I think is their 13th of the match.
We've had loads of possession, loads of corner kicks, loads of shots, and we just sort of, we're still at 0.
Yeah, 3-0 Charlton lead. Corner kick to Ipswich, to be taken by Nunez. Into the centre it comes, headed away by Gillespie, nodded back in by Davis, away by Carey, who started the ball rolling. The goals coming in quick succession for Charlton, something like in a 12-minute spell they scored all 3. Oh, Nunez loses the ball, picked up by Coventry for Charlton, but it was a foul on the Town midfielder. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 25 minutes gone in the second half. The clock is ticking down. Campbell straight in on Greaves. Campbell's looked really lively since he come on. A youngster who came through the Charlton Academy. There is Akpom. Clark wants it on the right and gets it far side. Having another run at Bell. Coming infield, Clark, edge of the area. Still the former Sunderland player. Eventually loses it. Took one stride too many. Charlton get it up to Leeburn, who's happy to hold on to the ball. Campbell's making a run in behind him. He's tried to find his mate. And it maybe improved Charlton, if anything, bringing on these two, Leeburn and Campbell. As Town play it around at the back.
They have improved them, but I think they're just...
Oh, given away by Greaves. Carey gives it to Leeburn, to Campbell. Campbell a long way out. Town looking very, very ragged. Bree shields it away from Philogene. Goes back to Ramsey in field to Coventry. Charlton understandably playing with an awful lot of confidence, stroking the ball around. Here is Jones. Jones goes long, mixing it up between Greaves and Walton. They shoots short things out, even though Leeburn fancies it. Was never going to get there. Now with Dara O'Shea. O'Shea gives it away straight to Jones. Jones up towards Leeburn, trying to spin Greaves. He's got the better of Greaves eventually. Leeburn shoots, it's on target, but it's straight at Walton. O'Shea's complaining about somebody not coming short enough for that pass, but it was sloppy from the captain. As Martin Purton, Kieran McKenna getting conversation. Yeah, it's not just going to be Taylor. Eggerly's come on as well by the looks of things down below us. Akpom out to the far side, and Ashley Young. O'Shea finds Walton towards halfway. Hurst tries the flick on header. Jones is all over. It's a good game, Lloyd Jones. Akpom to the right hand side. Clark early, first time to Hurst. Hurst has to score to make it 3-1. He took too long. Philogene, the keeper, stops it at his feet, and oh my goodness me, George Hurst got to score that opportunity.
Yeah, he must score, but wonderful ball in from Jack Clark. I mean, he did really great work on the left-hand side to start with. Now that Philogene's come on, he's had to go over on the right-hand side, and that is a wonderful ball in, and he really must score. He's just tried to take 2 touches to score instead of just 1. 18
to go at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 0, Charlton Athletic 3. Well, Taylor will be coming on for Kayuste, one would have thought, and Eggerly for Akpom surely is the alteration. Bree to Carey. Back to Bree on the right-hand side. Into the box to Leeburn, who dummies it. O'Shea gives it to Kayuste. Leif Davis forward, but away from Philogene. Controlled by Ramsey, up towards Leeburn. He's having a great game since he came on. Leeburn causing all sorts of problems. Leeburn inside the Ipswich Town area, shooting, saved on the near post by Walton. Charlton looking the more likely to score the 4th goal of this game. There's a player spinning, it's Bell getting the better of Clark. Now Campbell on the far side. Campbell getting inside the Ipswich Town area, trying to do a Jaden Philogene. Oh, and his shot's not far wide. That was classic Philogene stuff from Campbell, but thankfully, unlike the Ipswich Town player of late, he couldn't find the far corner, but now the boos, 1 or 2 of them, are being directed towards Ipswich Town.
It's amazing. I'm absolutely sure that the Charlton manager decided to change his front 2 just to give them the rest and just bring these 2 on because they're fresher. I'll tell you what, they're not just fresher, they're better.
Aren't they? They've done really well. And he's changed his mind again, Kieran McKenna, from it being a 1 change, Taylor coming on, then it was going to be Taylor and Egley. Now Egley's put his top back on, and it's the lesser spotted Ben Johnson who's going to get some minutes. So that suggests damage limitation as far as Ipswich Town are concerned, unless one of the players on the right's been injured, Young, or hopefully not Clark anyway. Charlton on top and playing really well at the moment. I did fancy them to come here and cause Ipswich Town problems today. Here is Leeburn. He's loving his time out there since he came on. Bree goes back to Kaminski. Well, before tonight, 3 of their 4 wins had come against the bottom 3 and Watford. So this is a statement victory for Charlton. Akpom shoots towards the far corner. Couldn't get enough bend on it. It's off target again. Heaven knows how many shots Town have had. Now it's 12 by the half-time mark. Yes. Here come the changes for Town. Davis is going off to be replaced by Johnson. Whether that means he'll go to right back and Young to left, or whether he'll just stay on the left-hand side. And Kayuste goes off to be replaced by Jack Taylor. And this is the 11 that will end this game for Ipswich Town. No Smodix tonight. And a full 90 minutes for Akpom, which must be a first.
I don't for the life of me understand the Leif Davis-Johnson change. Unless Leif Davis is injured, of course.
Here comes Kaminski, long kick downfield. Very, very bad evening this for Ipswich Town. They're getting away from it. Forward from Coventry, blocked off by Taylor with a point to prove. And obviously fancied his chances to a point of starting this game, Jack Taylor, as soon as Matthew got his booking on Friday. Let's throw in here for Charlton Athletic. It's painful for this one tonight for Kieran McKenna. Campbell out to the right hand side, and Leeburn forward, scampering after it is Bree. Johnson sees it out behind for a goal kick, which Walton will take for Ipswich Town. What a different reaction there's going to be at full time compared to the full time whistle here the last time we were watching on at Portman Road. Hurst to the left hand side, Philogene too much on that. Ramsey's going to get there first and see it out of play for a throw to Charlton in front of right back, who had a chance of going 4th in the table tonight with a win, even 3rd if they got a big win here and Stoke lost in terms of a goal difference swing. Terrific start to the season for them. Town back in action on Saturday lunchtime at home to West Brom. Then they go to QPR a week on Saturday. 2 weeks today, they've got another midweek game. Watford come here under their new manager, Javi Gracia. And then Town are at Swansea. It's a Welsh double. Then Wrexham come here. And then it's that start of that 8 days of crazy travel for Town fans. Hull, Oxford and Blackburn all away. That's kind of November stretching into December, so a while off yet, but it's West Brom next at the weekend. Hurst with a header back to Nunez in the middle. He gives it to Young on the far side. Probably his first 90 minutes for Ipswich Town tonight as well, Ashley Young. O'Shea. Ashley Young once more on the far side. Interesting to see who we speak to post-match after this one as well, if it stays as it is. O'Shea up towards Hurst, being held up by Jones. Continuing to do a really good job at the back for Charlton. Jones. Young back with O'Shea. 12.5 minutes to go. No sign of Ipswich Town getting a goal back at the moment. Greaves forward, off the ball. Philogene goes down. The referee gives a yellow card to Kane Ramsey.
Yeah, Jones worth mentioning. He's been really good. He's been left 1-to-1 in the central area many times tonight, and he's coped with it really well.
Nunez over this free kick. Singing all coming from the Charlton fans. They'll be enjoying their train journey back into Liverpool Street here in the next 50 minutes or so. Nunez from a good 33-34 yards out. And can he spark a revival? Nunez with his free kick into the Charlton area. Greaves heads it towards goal, but it loops up and is simple for Kaminski, who drops down on the ball and then looks forward early on. Kicks it up towards the challenge between Carey and Nunez. Nunez on the deck. Does it look like he's going to copy against his mate Onel Hernandez? Lost in Nunez tonight. Hernandez, they were teammates at Norwich. Hernandez had plenty to say when Nunez made his move down the A140. Said if he comes up against Nunez in the future, he will break him. Well, he's not got the opportunity so far in this game. He's on the Charlton bench. Given away by Town. Leeburn for Charlton down the left-hand side to another danger man, Campbell. Charlton trying to make absolutely certain of the victory. Campbell inside the area. Still has it, goes square to Coventry behind him. That was a really good opportunity for Charlton. Back it goes, it might come again. Coventry round the corner, gives it to the captain Doherty, a Scottish international, once of Rangers. Now Jones, who's been hugely impressive since the outset. Gillespie. Charlton go back towards Jones as their fans start to ole every pass now.
Well, they're a different team, aren't they now? I mean, they're not just thinking, I've got to do manage.
Here come Charlton. This is lovely play. Carey couldn't get onto it. Nunez to Philogene down the left-hand side, running forward for Ipswich Town, skipping away from the challenge of Coventry. He's still got it, Philogene. Back it goes to Taylor. Nunez on the ball as well. Now Ashley Young looking up, thinking about the cross into the Charlton area. He's giving it to Clark. Clark sets himself, comes off the back of his marker Bell, played forward by Carey. Leeburn's going to go after this one and cause O'Shea some problems. Leeburn gets on the ball first, has to go it on his own. The Charlton fans want him to do that, take on all comers. It's Leeburn versus 5 blue shirts. Forward come the Reds eventually. Leeburn's held on to it. He goes back to Campbell. The 2 bright sparks since they came off the bench. Charlton now with Carey. Ball in behind from Carey's attempted, well intercepted by Young.
Well, I've never seen Dara O'Shea like this, I really haven't. He seems to be completely all over the place.
Final 10 minutes. McMillan's with me on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Akpom tries to spin Coventry. I'll give you the numbers to get in touch afterwards in a moment. Clark on the right-hand side. Can Town get a goal back? Clark into the box. It's good towards Akpom. His defender gets in the way. The referee got a good view of it. Nobody appeals for a penalty down there, nor do fans. Cleared away by Jones. Yeah, if you want to call afterwards, I'm sure lots of people will want to have their say on this game. 0800 141 2121. Give you the other numbers in a minute. Young to Taylor, Taylor to Philogene, edge of the Charlton area. One on his right hand side, he gets it, shoots, blocked off, cleared by Bree. Text 81333, start those messages SFK. Nunez has a go, pings into the area, comes off a Charlton defender. And that is another corner kick, number 14, I believe, to Ipswich Town. Or you can WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Start those SFK. Town fans getting a bit agitated that no one seemed in a particular hurry to go and take this corner kick. Eventually it's Jaden Philogene to take it. Kieran McKenna watches on, arms folded. It's going to be Harvey Nibbs coming on for their last change. Jaden Philogene on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. 82 minutes played, and it goes towards Greaves. Headed away, not fully cleared by Charlton. Now it is, they lead 3-0. Johnson into the air, it comes from Hurst, headed towards goal by Greaves, tipped over the bar by Kaminski. 15 corner kicks to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, and we really Charlton have totally just done a job on us. They really have, and it looked as if we would still see the game through, but that period after half time has really made them feel so good about themselves.
Philogene with a corner kick for Ipswich. It's number 15 incredibly in this game, headed off of his goal line, I think maybe by Leeburn back there doing his secondary role. Akpom gives it back to Nunez. Nunez in turn finds Young. Young looks up and knocks the ball high into the Charlton area. Headed away by Jones. They have got superior height to Ipswich Town on the side. Bree lifts it over the top of Philogene and then clears towards Campbell. Young is back defending. Little flick in field finds Nunez. So it's very rare for Ipswich Town to not score, particularly here. They've been scoring goals for fun, 12 in their last 4 here, Town, none so far tonight. Clark skips away from a lunging challenge of Leeburn, tries to pick at that blue shirt, but that was closed down by Charlton. Nunez, square to Greaves. Town are keeping on going, I guess. That's a bit of positivity. Coming in field is Johnson, just the 1 goal so far this season in the cup at Bromley. Here is Philogene, 5 in his last 3 here for him. Johnson again, because obviously there are 10 red shirts behind the ball, as you would expect. When they get the chance to go forward, they do. Charlton to a point now. Nathan Jones is lively as anything on this near touchline, as Greaves just falls back to Walton, and more boos. There'll be an almighty negative reaction. Full time, a mistake from Young, took his eye off the ball. Doherty pushes it forward into open ground to waste some space, as Walton gets it inside his penalty area, all set for his first league start of the season. I would have thought against West Brom, the nature of Palmer's apparent injury. Johnson up towards Hurst, missed that good chance a few moments ago. Hurst to Philogene. Philogene's held on to it by this near touchline, just keeps it in play. Town pushing forward, looking for a consolation goal. Philogene with a couple of step overs, back to the left hand side. Hurst outside the visitors area. Hurst low into the box towards Taylor. He dummied it, cleared away by Carey, up towards Leeburn, one-on-one with Fouché. This could be interesting. This will be a good battle. Leeburn fancies having a run at Dara O'Shea. Leeburn for Charlton, edge of the area, and outside the box he shoots. It's wide off his left boot. He's not short of confidence, and again got his shot away.
Yeah, they're good at what they do. They're just soaking up all the pressure. We don't seem as if we can break them down at all, you know, and then they've always got the opportunity to break, and they again had Dara O'Shea sort of really worried.
Mibbs is coming on for Carey, who got the first of Charlton's 3 goals. Lots of people, Ipswich Town fans, leaving Portman Road. They've seen enough. There are just 5 minutes to go. Bad defeat this for Ipswich Town. It's one thing to lose 1-0 through a penalty at Preston, it's another to lose 2-1 at Middlesbrough, right up there. They went top of the table, that victory on Friday, but when you're back home against Charlton on the Tuesday night, to lose by 3-0, wow. Walton drills it up towards Hurst. Hurst cushion square header will be dealt with by Bell. Clark's onto the ball again. Clark on the right hand side for Ipswich Town. He'll come out of this game with credit. Lowe puts it into the middle, right across the face of goal, touched out behind by Ramsey for a 16th corner kick of the game to Ipswich Town.
Far more red shirts trying to get back into their own penalty area than we had blue shirts trying to get into the penalty area.
Can Ipswich Town get a goal back in the final 4 minutes of normal time? 3-0 Charlton lead. Philogene with the corner. Poor, headed away, diving off of the near post by Leeburn. Didn't need to be anywhere near his 6'6" height to deal with that one. Young slices it out to the right hand side into the Charlton area, headed away by Gillespie. Campbell's on the ball for Charlton. Got the pace to take on anybody in blue. Gets away from Clark, then Nunez. Clark brings him down, free kick. Nathan Jones telling his players to calm down in the most animated vocal manner imaginable.
Those 2 front players that have come on, Leeburn and Campbell, have been absolutely
superb,
outstanding. They really have. In this system, absolutely ideal. They can get the ball from the back of the defence and they can be a threat immediately.
Well, what a night for these 2 teams. Lots of connections between the 2 sides, as we discussed on the Blue Hour last night. Lots of Darren Bent, Darren Ambrose, Matt Holland, Herman Haridason. 2 teams went up together in 2000 to the Premier League as well. As Akpom spins, gets away from a couple of players. Good strong play on halfway. Then he's brought down rather cynically. It's going to be a yellow card for a the Charlton player. Nibbs just on the field, it's his first involvement. That's what I was trying to pick out, squint my eyes, thinking, who is that? And it's Harvey Nibbs. Final 2 minutes. Not even a late penalty is going to save Ipswich Town tonight. Nunez from a long way out. Well, how much pressure does this put on Saturday against West Brom? Considerably more than there's already on any game. Nunez high into the Charlton area, right through it. The away fans enjoyed that. About a minute and a half away from being told how much added on time there's going to be. There's not going to be enough to save Ipswich Town. As Kaminski gets ready to take this goal kick. And somebody will say in the aftermath of this, goals change games, and if Town had scored when Akpom hit the bar, or those chances that they missed, a header from Akpom and others, but ultimately it's about more that you've got to score those chances. It's obvious. You don't have more about you. And Charlton have been the better side in the second half. Here is Philogene. Philogene square to Young. Young controls it. Gives it to Clark. Infield to Nunez. Nunez weaves between a couple of players. Clark deserves a start on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just...
Doesn't he?
We've got to get him in the team somewhere,
yeah,
you know.
With all due respect to Eggly. Here is Akpom. Akpom has the ball for Ipswich Town to Clark. Clark inside the area, shoots left-footed, blocked off, comes back to me, still running with the ball, then goes down. Nothing other than a goal kick to Charlton Athletic. With the board about to come up.
Yeah, I think Kieran's got a lot of thinking to do for the remainder of the week. He really has. This is the worst defeat he's had at the club since he's been here, and this is a major setback for him, and he's got to really take stock. Him and his staff have got to sit down and think long and hard about which direction they go in. They really have.
Well, I took a chance with the changes, whether he sees it as that or not. It's confusing when we're talking about wanting things to gel, and when these players gel, and then 6 changes at Bristol City, which people might say worked out because they got a point. 7 tonight, it certainly hasn't tonight. Battling for the ball is Hurst. Charlton going to make some more changes. Burke is centre-half and Rankin Costello midfielder to come on. Clark on the right-hand side gives the ball back to Marcelino Nunez. Little give and go to Hurst. Hurst turns, shoots, it's away from goal. Let's have a look at the stats afterwards and see Ipswich Town's number of shots added to their number of corners. It's going to be some phenomenal number. Yeah. And then you'd look at the number of saves Kaminski's made compared to that particular stat, and there'll be a gulf. 4 minutes of added on time.
Well, according to this, at the moment we've had 27 shots and we've only hit the target 4 times. I mean, that's dreadful. It really is, you know. And but what is most alarming for me is we've allowed Charlton to have 15 shots. They've actually hit the target 8 times. You know, you shouldn't allow anybody to come to this ground and actually have a stat of that nature.
Doherty and Coventry have gone off to be replaced by Rankin Costello. And here's the other one. Rhys Burke. Burke has gone into midfield. He's another big centre-half, Burke, ex-West Ham and Hull. I maintain what I've said a few times, that it's going to be Kieran's greatest achievement if he can get them promoted this season. I'm certainly not ruling it out, no way would I be that mad, but it'd be some achievement to do that. I'm not based just on this either. Young on the right-hand side, just to build a new team and have it functioning in the brittle nature of the Championship. The only thing I guess you would say about the Championship this season's it's open, possibly Coventry aside. It's not going to be as strong as it's been in previous years. But this is a real blow for Ipswich Town, and there are so many empty seats inside the ground as the feel-good factor of Norwich kind of disappears somewhat. It's a real shame. It's a goal kick to Charlton, 90 seconds from the end. A good win for them at Portman Road. Well, a very, very good win, it has to be said. Hurst. Ramsey battling for the ball. So too Jones, who's been exceptional for Charlton. Rankin Costello brings down Hurst. Taylor shoves one of the Charlton players. Bree. Town play it short. Johnson near side. Nunez. Jones for Ipswich. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come. Yours welcome. 0800 141 2121. Taylor for Ipswich. Gets a bit lucky. Taylor, edge of the box, still has it. Nice play from Taylor. Sets himself, shoots. Saved by Kaminski down to his left-hand side. It's a decent effort from the Republic of Ireland international midfielder. Kaminski will drop down to his left-hand side and maintains his clean sheet.
Yeah, it was a decent effort, but I don't think he was going to seriously score from there. And there's so many red shirts back, and they're just doing a job on us.
Final 30 seconds of this match. I think we can predict the reaction from those still here at full time. Well, it's not going to be pretty. O'Shea battling with Leeburn. Young heads it back to Walton. Brought on after 22 minutes for Alex Palmer. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come. Walton drops the ball down at his feet, gives it to O'Shea. Just a few seconds away from the full-time whistle, which is greeted by a chorus of boos as the feel-good factor created by the win over Norwich here just over 2 weeks ago completely evaporates in one night. Ipswich Town thumped 3-0 by Charlton Athletic. Nowhere near good enough.
No, it wasn't, and we've actually sort of, for a lot of the games, particularly in the first half, there wasn't so much wrong about our game. I think that, I said both teams will go in the dressing room at half-time fairly satisfied. Town would have expected to be in front by half-time against Charlton. There were suggestions through the first half that they would be. They weren't far away from actually getting themselves a couple of goals. But I also felt that Charlton, who definitely the manager has done, he's asked his players to do a lot of unusual things, particularly defensively with his back line, and the players have responded to him. They've done exactly what he's asked them to do. They've carried out the orders well, and what they needed, Charlton, to get some inspiration. When you're playing defensive football, you need on occasions just to threaten the opposition goal, and I thought they did that. Coming up to half-time, they did sort of look as if they might nick one, and then they will think, right, this is well worth doing this. We're quite happy to play this way as long as we've got a glimmer of hope of putting the ball in the back of Ipswich's net, and then when the sort of second half started, it was a similar pattern, and you just felt that maybe again there might be a few sort of opportunities coming our way. But it was when Charlton made those, they got themselves in front, made those two changes up front, and they transformed the team. Leeburn and Campbell came on for Kelman and Olafe, and they were outstanding. And I've never seen two strikers worry Dara O'Shea so much in a game. He really didn't relish the situation, and in many respects I just felt he went under a little bit. You've got to sort of accuse him of going under. He didn't like it, and you could say the same about all our back four players. They didn't like people running at them with the ball, and in the end it wasn't just a question of we got it all wrong in the attacking end of the pitch. We started to get it woefully wrong at the defensive end as well, and you can pretty much, you can't blame Christian Walton. He's done what he can. He actually made a couple of nice saves towards the end of the first half, so he's not been at fault. But the back four, you've got to say individually and collectively, that was not good enough over 90 minutes of football. Okay, did all right for the first 30, but then when Charlton had more and more of the play, when they actually got goals in front, those four individually started to go under, and that is not what you should do. That's the area that you should maintain some resilience. You've got to say that when you're playing, sort of catch-up football, Nunez and Kajus weren't really a pair, were they, in the centre of midfield? That needs looking at, that without question. Very difficult, to sort of to come up with anybody that really. I think Jack Clark.
I was just about to mention Jack Clark. If we try to find a positive, he deserves a start, doesn't he, on Saturday?
Oh, without question. And you've got to try and find. We've got to start looking at what is okay about the team, and without the first thing that comes to mind is the left-hand side of Leif Davis and Philogene. That you've got to keep going with that. Play them. It's the best part of the team at the moment. And then, because Jack Clark wants one of those positions, I'm sorry, Jack, you can't, because you'll be breaking up a really good partnership. And this game is all about partnerships. We've got 5 different partnerships on the pitch. We've got one that's absolutely spot on. Leave it alone. Now, you've got to fit Jack Clark in somewhere. I think I would just tell him, you're going to be, if you like, the number 10, but you could go where you like. You've got a good football brain, you've got lovely ability. Kieran was hell-bent on trying to make Amari Hutchinson into a number 10 because of his ability to run the ball. Well, I think Jack Clark can run the ball equally as well. I think Amari needed it in wide areas. He needed possession in wide areas where he had big spaces to run into, and it was easier there. When he come into a claustrophobic sort of midfield situation, he wasn't able to do it. But I think this guy can. I think he can. We've got to get him in the team somewhere, and I think give him the number 10. If you want to call it a position, I don't call it a position. I call it a free roll between the midfield and the attack, and let his football brain and his talented feet do the job. And then you've got to you've got to come up with a pairing down the right-hand side. That is a conundrum. The pairing in the centre of midfield is a conundrum. They're the 2 places where we've got to get it right most of all. The centre of midfield, who are the best pair? And the right-hand side, what is the best pair down there? Because at the moment, when you think of the right-hand sides we've had of recent, Danassian and Burns, Clark and Burns, down there, superb. We have not got a right-hand side at the moment.
And we haven't got a point tonight from this game. I haven't got a goal or a point because Ipswich Town have lost 3-0 to Charlton. Kieran McKenna's thoughts on the way.